Alright, Subchapter F, Miscellaneous Provision, 3271, Well Plugging Fund, 3272, Reserve, 3273, Effect of the Department Authorities, 3273-1, Relation to Solid Waste and Surface Mining, 3274, Regulations, 3271, Well Plugging Funds, Appropriation Fit, Fines, Civil Penalties, and Permit, the registration have the fees collected under the chapter appropriated for the Department of the carry out for the purpose of the chapter, surcharge to aid and identify with the Commonwealth for the cost of plugging a man well with a $50 surcharge for the have with the permanent fee established for the Department under Section 3211 relating to the well permits for new well with the money collected with the result of the surcharge shall be paid within an restricted revenue account with the state treasury, be known as the abandoned well plugging fund, expect the Department of the Public's abandoned well threatening the health and safety of the person's properties, pollution waters of the Commonwealth, the orphan well plugging fund. Following shall apply with a restricted revenue account with the known as the orphan well plug fund is created with a $100 surcharge for the well drilled for oil production, $200 surcharge for the wells to be drilled for the gas production are added to the permanent fee with the established with the Department under Section 3211. With the new well with the surcharge will be placed in an orphan well plug fund extended by the Department of the plug with the orphan well with the operator rehabilitates the well abandoned with another operator to where an orphan well with the permanent fee with the surcharge of the well shall be waived. The Department shall study with the experience of the implementing the section shall be reported with the finding of the Governor and General Assembly of the August 1st, 1992. Report shall contain information relating to the balance fund, the number of the wells plugged, with the number identifying the well with the eligible plugging recommendations, alternative funding mechanism, expenditure for the Department of the Plugging Orphan Well limited to the fee collected under this chapter. No money in the general fund shall be expended for this purpose. 3272 is reserved. 3273, except the Department exempt of the effect of the Department authority. This chapter does not affect the limited impair any right of the authority of the Department under the Act of June 22nd, 1937, the Public Law of 1987, number 394, known as the Clean Streams Law, Act of January 8th, 1960, known as the Air Pollution Control Act, the Act of November 26, 1978, known as the Dam Safety Encroachments Act, or the Act of July 7, 1980, known as the Solid Waste Management Act. 3273, Relation for the Solid Waste and Surface Mining General Rule, obligation to obtain with the permit imposed to the unbonded under Article 3 and 5 of the Act of July 7, 1980, with the Public Law 380, number 97, known as the Solid Waste Management Act, and provide with the public notice in Section 1905A, B15 of the Act of April 9, 1929, Public Law 177, number 175, known as the Administrative Code of 1929, for any pit embedment method of the facility employed with the disposal, processing, storage, residual waste generated by drilling of an oil or gas well with a production well which located on the well site shall be considered to be satisfied with the owner and operative well meets the following conditions. Wells permitted under the requirements of Section 3211 relating to well permits registered under the Section 3213 relating to well registration and identification. The owner and operator satisfied with the financial security requirements of Section 3225 relating to binding by obtaining surety and collateral bond with the well site. The owner and operator maintains compliance with the chapter, applicable regulation, environmental quality board, non-coal surface mining obligation under the Act of December 19, 1984, known as the Non-Coal Surface Mining Conservation Reclamation Act, regulation promulgated under the Non-Coal Surface Mining Conservation Act and Reclamation Act for any borough area where minerals are extracted solely for the purpose of the oil and gas well development, increased access road construction shall be considered to have been satisfied by the owner and operator of the well meets the condition within imposed with the subsection A1 and 2, maintain with compliance with this chapter, applicable regulation, environmental quality board, C. Solid Waste Management Act. This section does not diminish the otherwise effective duties of the obligation of the owner and operator of the Solid Waste Management Act. This section does not apply to the waters classified as hazardous material waste under the Solid Waste Management Act, the Resource Conservation Act of 1976. Definition used within the section term well site means area occupied all equipment facility with necessary incident drilling, production, and plugging. 3274 Regulation Environmental Quality Board shall promulgate regulations to implement this chapter. Chapter 33, Local Ordinance relating to oil and gas operations.